Dave Talks Comics, Episode 26. Dave Talks Comics is a podcast on the subjects of comic books and cartoons. I talk about the comics I have read and the cartoons I have watched. Dave Talks Comics can be found on the web at davetalkscomics.com. On Twitter at DaveTalksComics. Email can be sent to dave@davetalkscomics.com. Okay, there's a section there that I usually include, but this episode is going to be this and the next few are going to be a little different. This episode is going to start my coverage of Heroes Con 2014. This episode will be the first day of my Heroes Con vacation, which isn't actually the first day of Heroes Con, but the day before it. Heroes Con was June 20th to the 22nd, so this is recordings from June 19th, the drive down, stuff I'm looking forward to, my experiences driving down, that kind of stuff. If you listen to my coverage of Appleseed Con, it's similar to that. Heroes Con road trip. Stop 0, I guess. I'm in my apartment. My car is packed. It's about 7 o'clock on Thursday morning. Thursday morning. Heroes Con starts tomorrow. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Got the trip all planned out. I've done this twice before, in 2011 and 2012. More or less going to take the same route. Going out 66 and then down Route 29. Planning to stop in Lynchburg for lunch. Although I'll probably be a little early for lunch there. It'll probably, maybe take me 3.5 hours at the rate I go. And then I've got to worry about traffic, both escaping DC and then in the Charlottesville area. I'm definitely pumped about going on this trip. I missed it last year. It sounds like it's going to be a great show this year. I've already got a number of commissions lined up, 6 to be precise. Already spending, I think, probably more than I want to, so I'm going to have to hold back once I get to the show. One thing I am thinking about doing is commissioning some colorists, maybe one or two, to do some coloring work on some of my art. Which reminds me, I didn't pack my art books. Wow. Okay. So I need to pack those, throw those in the car. Let's see, what else? So it should be a great show. Hopefully I get some good food. I'm staying much further away from the convention center than I have the last 2 times I went. This time out, the hotel I'm going to be at is right near a link station, so I'm going to try and take that in. And the plan is to do that tonight, to go in, get there early enough that I can take the links in to pick up my pass. So I won't have to do that in the morning. Also give me a chance to test out the links. I think it's $2 each way is the fare. So I think that's it. It's probably about 7:05 by now, and I should be taking off. It's definitely earlier than I've left the last couple times. And like I said, I know I'm going to hit traffic leaving DC, getting around the Beltway and out 66. And then also there's always Charlottesville. There's usually traffic, and then getting into Charlotte, North Carolina, there's traffic. But All the lights are out, the fans are turned off. It's blazingly hot. It's going to be even hotter. I think it's going to be in the high 90s today, both here and down in Charlotte, so I'm not escaping anything by going to Charlotte. It's pretty damn hot last night. So yeah. So my first rest stop is going to be along Route 29. I'm going to do this like I did the trip to Appleseed, where I took rest stops every, 60 to 80 miles, depending on how long it takes me to drive. And I think I've got about 6 stops in between here and 6. Yeah, I think about 6, maybe 5 stops between here and Charlotte. HeroesCon road trip stop number 1. I'm in Bealton or Opal, Virginia. I'm at a sheet station. It's only 68 miles from home, but it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get here. I expect from here on out it should be pretty good until, well, Charlottesville, it slows down a little bit because the highway doesn't go around Charlottesville. But other than that, I think until I get to Charlotte, North Carolina, I think traffic shouldn't be bad at all. Let's see, I've been listening. I finished off 11 o'clock comics. I fast-tracked that one because I thought they were going to talk about HeroesCon, and they did a little bit, their plans for HeroesCon, but not as much as I thought they would or hoped they would. And then I listened to an episode of Soundcheck for WNYC with, I think it's Al Jorgensen from Ministry. That's a band somebody tried to get me into way back when, about 20 years ago, and definitely sounds like my kind of music. I should probably look into some of their albums. And now I'm in the middle of listening to The Indoor Kids, Kumail and Emily, where they interview people from the video game industry. And I don't play video games, but I like their podcast, so I listen. So let's see, I'm almost 2 hours in at this point. I've been here for over 10 minutes. Went into the sheets, got something to drink, used the bathroom. Some guy in there was brushing the hell out of his teeth. So yes, I've got plenty of gas. Don't need to fuel up just yet. Next stop will be Charlottesville. And that'll just be a brief stop just to stretch my legs. And then I'll be on to Lynchburg, and I figure I should be in Lynchburg. Let's see, it's 9:15 right now. Should be in Lynchburg about 2.5. Yeah, it'll probably be just before noon by the time I get to Lynchburg, I'm thinking. So, and if that doesn't work for lunch, I'm not sure where I'm stopping for lunch. But I'm sure I can find some place to grab a sandwich. So, that's it for now. One more thing. Yes, it's warm as hell out here. I don't have air conditioning in my car. It is warm. I've been drinking water. I got one of those naked drinks from the sheets, which tastes good because the water only does so much for me. And this is the 3rd time this has happened. Last 2 times, same thing. When I drive down to Charlotte, it's been hot as hell. I mean, like temperatures up into the 90s. Well, anyway, just had to get that off my chest. HeroesCon road trip, stop number 2. I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm at a 7-Eleven. Just stopped here to give myself a rest, stretch my legs. I've got plenty to drink. I'm getting a little hungry, but it's only a little after 10, maybe 10:30, 10:20, something like that. I think I will probably get to Lynchburg by a little before noon, but I think that's late enough for lunch. Planning to stop at a Panera there, and I had a really early breakfast this morning. I ate breakfast around 5 or something like that. Let's see. So I'm in the middle of listening to. Well, I finished off that episode of the Indoor Kids, And now I'm listening to the latest episode of The Quad, the first episode in quite some time. Zach Crucy and Ben Teed talking about comics and stuff, talking about Black Sad and Uncanny Avengers, I think, and Greatest Warriors, which I have watched. I've read a little bit of Black Sad. When they first released that, like probably 10 years ago, I read a little bit of Black Sad back then. I still have that first collection. I don't know if it was Dark Horse or who it was that printed that. Probably Dark Horse, but I think I have a paperback version. I really should go back and read some more of Black Sad, because I did enjoy that. Anthropomorphic kind of cats, jaguars, and whatnot, as in a noir theme, and not just cats, though. No, there was other creatures too, other animal type, anthropomorphic animals. Is that redundant, anthropomorphic animals? Probably not. Not sure. So yeah, so that's good. And of course, Zach is the guy who did the Appleseed Comic-Con. He was the organizer for that, which I went to a month ago. So next stop I think is going to be lunch at Panera in Lynchburg. I'm doing pretty good as far as time goes. I think I should probably be there. Well, I don't know what time I'll be there, but I don't think it'll be one of those trips where I left at 10 o'clock and it took me more than 8 hours to get there. But so far so good. Really the only real traffic I hit was coming out of DC. That was pretty bad. First on 495. In a couple places, and then on 66. And then it was a little slow because I took 28 off of 66 at 29. Considering how long it took, I think I'll modify the route coming back. Although I'll be coming back late at night, and so I shouldn't hit the traffic the way I did coming in or leaving. Coming back in, whatever. So no other thoughts, really. Yeah, I'm going to go back to driving and listening to the Quad, and I'm not sure what I'm going to listen to next, but probably something non-comic book related. Maybe an interview. I know what I'll listen. I'll listen to Kermode and Mayo, which is BBC Radio 5's, what do you call it? Film podcast, where they review movies and they interview a few people have to do with movies, So that's it for now. Heroes Con road trip. Stop number 3. I am in Lynchburg, Virginia. I've driven just about 200 miles. Been on the road for almost 5 hours now, counting breaks. Been here for a little over 20 minutes. Just finished eating lunch. I had a turkey avocado BLT and an apple. It's excellent. So I'm getting ready to get back on the highway. Let's see, what have I been listening to? So I finished off the Quad, and I started listening to Kermode and Mayo, that BBC film program. I'm not sure if there's much else to report at this point. Last couple times I drove down, I stopped in Charlottesville for lunch, but I also left a little later, more like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, as opposed to like 7:15, which is when I left today. So hopefully, I'm about halfway there mileage-wise. Hopefully I'm better than halfway there time-wise. I still think it's going to take me about 8 hours altogether, which means I've got about 3 hours left. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe if I took 95 instead of insisting on taking 29, I'd make better time. I don't know. But, so let's see. My next stop, I'm going to stop near Danville just to stretch my legs. That's about 70 miles away. Took me about 65 minutes, I think, to get here from Charlottesville, to Lynchburg from Charlottesville. I've been checking in on the social media and on Facebook and Foursquare and Yelp and all that. Let's see. And it's still hot. I'm glad I brought a cooler with me, and I put lots of water, bottled water in the cooler, so I got plenty to drink. Still got some of that, what is it, one of these naked, what do you call them, naked juice smoothie, Green Machine. Probably doesn't taste like much to most people, but that makes me think that it must be good for me. Who knows, maybe it is, maybe it ain't. But, yeah, so, next stop, Danville, Virginia. And that'll be my last stop in Virginia. Heroes Con road trip, stop number 4. I'm at the Pilot Travel Center just outside of Danville, Virginia. Driven about 263 miles. Been on the road for about 6 hours and 10 minutes. Been here for almost 10 minutes now. I need to get going. But let's see. I finished listening to Kermode and Mayo's film review program. And I'm on to another film program, listening to the Boob Tube from the Earth 2 podcast network. Dan and Bob Gar talking about Days of Future Past and Godzilla. And I've just started that one. And it's still hot, and I still don't have any air conditioning in my car. But I still have plenty of water. I'm only going to make one more stop before Charlotte, and that is near Trinity, North Carolina, which is somewhere past Greensboro. And that's going to be at a Sheetz. It's about 68 miles to there, and that's about 75 miles from there to the hotel that I'm staying at in Charlotte. And I'm certainly lengthening the trip by making these stops. But so far, so good. And honestly, there's something that feels right about it being so hot for this drive down. It's what it was like 2 years ago when I did it. I think that's what it was like 3 years ago when I did it. But yeah, I'm definitely hot. So, but I got some stuff to listen to. I got water to drink, so I think I'm doing good. And so far, no problems with the roads, no major slowdowns. A little bit of construction here and there, but nothing that really has slowed me down. So, let's see, it's about 1:30 now. And I don't know, it's going to be at least 2 hours before I get there. Yeah, probably closer to 3. So I'm talking 4:30, 4:35 o'clock, something like that. But I should have time to make it to hopefully, up to the convention center to pick up my pass for the show tonight. And if I don't, well, then I pick it up tomorrow morning, So I guess that's it from Danville, North Carolina. Next stop, Danville, Virginia. Next stop, Trinity, North Carolina. Heroes Con road trip stop number 5. I'm in Trinity, North Carolina, at a Sheetz gas station just off of Route 85. It's still hot. Air conditioning's still not working. Oh wait, I don't have air conditioning in this car, that's right. Driven 332 miles since leaving home. I think I got about 75 left to go, something like that, to get to the hotel. Been on the road for about 7.5 hours. Just went into the gas station, used the bathroom, had to get me something, so I got an ice cream sandwich, which tasted okay. Tasted not fantastic, but it was good. I'm still listening to the Boob Tube. Still haven't quite finished that off yet. Let's see how much I got left on that. I got about 45 minutes left on that. Wow, well that'll take me damn close to the hotel. At least most of the way to Charlotte from here. And let's see, so they're done talking about Godzilla, now they're talking about Days of Future Past. I haven't seen either of these movies. I'm not sure if I'll ever see the Godzilla movie. I think I'll probably see the Days of Future Past movie, but I'm not going to see it in the theater. I'll wait on DVD or however I end up seeing it. I haven't seen too many of those X-Men films. I liked the first one. I wasn't too crazy about the second one. And the only other one I've seen is The Wolverine, which I thought was pretty good for the most part, except for the ending. Pretty good. It wasn't great. So still driving, still making my way to Charlotte. Be glad to get there, glad to cool off. Still drinking water. And let's see. Oh, yeah, I need to put some gas in the car. Yeah, I think that about does it for now. Okay, I guess this is the end of my first half of my road trip to Heroes Con. I've arrived in Charlotte. I've checked in. I'm in my hotel room. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and I think I'm going to go up to the convention center and pick up my pass for the show. I think they're open until 8, and then come back down here or somewhere and have some dinner and chill. Yeah, I mean, unless I run into somebody, I think my plan is to come back down here and have dinner at a place down near here. I've bookmarked a bunch of places on Yelp. Look good. I'm thinking of going to a barbecue place that's just across the street. Streets here are a little busier than I thought they would be in this neighborhood. I did get a nice room, though, it seems like, because the room is on the back side of the building, so there aren't any traffic going past. And even the front side of the building is set a ways back from the street because there's a big parking lot out there. So, and yeah, I made one mistake. Would have probably been here about 10 minutes earlier if I hadn't tried testing the Google Maps directions and taken a different route, and that didn't work out. And so I quickly pulled out my phone, and it redirected me right back onto I-85. And there probably was another way to go. I don't know if it would have been any faster, but the Google Maps directions were on point. So, and it took me about 9 hours to get here, a little less than 9 hours. That's including all the stops. I think I stopped for a total of about 75 minutes, something like that. So that means I spent about 7 hours and 45 minutes on the road. Of course, that includes one little dipsy doodle I did here in Charlotte. But other than that sounds about right, with all the traffic. Traffic coming into Charlotte actually wasn't that bad. On 77, there was a little bit of traffic, but it was moving. Even in D.C., the traffic was moving. It didn't come to a complete standstill on the Beltway and on 66. It was slow in places, and there was lights to deal with. And next year, I should probably try driving down at least on 95 and see how long it takes. It's not, just to see if it's any faster. Yeah. So, Heroes Con Day 0. I've been here for a few hours now in Charlotte. After getting here, I took a shower, cleaned up, because I was a sweaty mess after driving in a car without air conditioning in what weather that was in the mid-90s. So then I took the Lynx, which is I think that's light rail here in Charlotte, and there's a station. I'm about 4 miles south of the downtown, but there's a station just across the street from the hotel where I'm staying. So I took that all the way up to the convention center, and it's just straight shot, don't have to change trains or anything. It's $2 a ride, regardless of how far you're going. Yeah, it was, I don't know, maybe a 20-minute ride, 15-minute ride, something like that. And I went into the convention center, not a problem there. I thought that the ticket pickup was supposed to be open until 8 o'clock, but there wasn't anybody at the table. So then I walked around and I found some other place, but it looked like it was just for artists. So I waited in line there anyway, but they told me no, I was supposed to go to the table outside, and I said, well, there's nobody out there. So they looked around and they came back out and they told me, well, it closed at 5, and this was like 6 o'clock when I was there. Closed at 5, but it'll be open again tomorrow morning at 8. So I don't think the show opens until like 10:30 or 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so there's no great rush. And from my experience, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm not in a great rush to get on any artist's sketch lists. I've already got 6 sketches lined up. I know a few of them are done. I've seen a few of them, at least 3, maybe 4. I'm not sure. But I've seen at least 3 of them. And so, I've spent a fair amount through PayPal, and there's a couple, no, I think it's just 1, or maybe it's 2. No, it's 2 who I have to give cash to, but so I'm not in any rush to get into the show. If I get in a half hour at 11:30, I don't care if I have to wait in line that long. But I suppose the other thing is you want to go to the back issue bins and things like that and look for stuff. And the sooner you get to it, the better the selection is. Although my experience from last year was that, not last year, but 2011 and 2012 was that there are a lot of dealers who don't bother to organize their boxes at all. And I find that to be completely useless, because if you got 20 or 30 boxes, I'm not going to go through all of them trying to find something because your stuff's all out of order. So anyway, so I'm not real frazzled by the fact that, plus I'm not real frazzled by the fact that I wasn't able to pick up my ticket, my pass. It would have been nice though. And it did give me a chance to ride the links, which even though I'd been here in 2011, 2012, I hadn't tried the links because I stayed downtown. So I took the train back to the hotel, straight back. I didn't run into anybody I knew. Didn't see that many people anyway at the convention center. I didn't bother to go over to the Marriott? The Westin. The Westin? Is that the hotel that's across the street where a lot of people stay? I didn't bother to go over there. I just took the train back. I was going to go to a barbecue place that's right across the street from where I'm staying, but then I saw this other place was still open, a place called Bill Spoon's Barbecue, and I've been wanting to go there. They get really high marks on Yelp, and it's just their hours. They don't have really convenient hours. They close at like 8 o'clock. And they're probably 5 miles south of the downtown area. And, of course, the last 2 times I was here, I was staying in the downtown area. I also got here later both of those times, and it just wasn't feasible for me to go there for dinner. But it was about 6:30 when I got back to the hotel, so I had an hour and a half till they closed. It's only a mile drive, so I went down there. I had dinner there, really good meal, barbecue chicken, barbecue chicken, baked beans, coleslaw, hush puppies, sweet tea, and for dessert I had peach cobbler with vanilla ice cream. And I'd say it was all very good. Very, very good. Excellent meal. Not overly seasoned, not too sweet. I'm kind of wishing that I'd had the pork instead of the chicken. But if I go back, I'm not going to go back this year. But if I go back next year or another year, I'll have to try the pork. So after dinner, I came back to the hotel. I did wanted to watch something. I've got my tablet with me. which has Netflix on it. Unfortunately, it is a Google, it's a Nexus tablet, and it doesn't have the Amazon streaming. And there's a few shows that I've bought through Amazon. I don't have the Prime, but I just started watching Avatar Season 3, and it would have been nice to watch an episode of that tonight, but fortunately I can't do that because I have it through Amazon, and I can't play Amazon stuff. I'm also watching, well, some other stuff that's not cartoon related. I considered watching an episode of Young Justice. I didn't feel like doing that. So then I started looking into Doctor Who, because I gave up on Doctor Who after about, almost 2 seasons into the 12th Doctor? The one, Matt Smith. Matt Smith is, he's okay. But what made me give up on it was Amy Pond. I really don't like that character. I really find her annoying. And now that they've added more seasons, I thought, well, maybe they've got the stuff that's after her. And they do. And it starts like midway through the next season or something like that. So I started to watch an episode called The Snowman, which I think is the first episode without her and Rory, or whatever her husband's name was. So far so good. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched about the first third of it, about 20 minutes out of an hour. So I'm probably going to go back and watch the rest of it. And so far I like it. It's good stuff. I don't find this new companion annoying. She's very good looking. Was it Clara or something like that's her name? But and then after I watched that, I started to watch an anime that I had found when I was just browsing through the various selections a week or 2 ago, called Kill la Kill. And I've only watched a little bit of that so far. I mean, like a little bit of the first episode so far. But it looks good. I'm not sure if I'll stick with it or not. Apparently, I think it's just one season, just 26 episodes. And it gets high marks on Netflix, like 4.5 stars over, I don't know how many thousands of reviews or ratings. So that's where I am with those. Oh, I didn't talk about the podcast. So I finished off listening to BoobTube, where they were covering Godzilla and X-Men Days of Future Past. And I've listened to a bunch of reviews of that. And like I said before, I think I'll probably end up seeing that eventually. Godzilla, probably not. I'm not a huge fan. Nothing against it. I just, not really my thing, I guess. And then I started listening to Mark Maron, WTF. In fact, I should get back to that. He was interviewing Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. And so far, that's a pretty good interview. I really like his interview with musicians. He really does a good job with those interviews. They are, I mean, often I don't know who, this is one case where I know who he is, although beyond their hits, I'm not really familiar with ZZ Top's music. And I mean their hits from the early 80s, early to mid 80s. But Mark Maron I think he does a great job with interviews in general, and especially with the musicians. And I suppose that's because he plays guitar, and it's definitely an interest for him. And he's just really good at talking to people and bringing things out. So, and I'd say 95% of the interviews he does, I think, are good. Every once in a while, he'll get somebody on there who just doesn't want to play ball with him, or I just can't stand. And only a couple come to mind. One was, I think, Chelsea Handler, and I didn't really care for that one. The other one was Russell, who was that guy with the long hair? Who I can't remember his last name, but it did nothing for me. And 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 I'm sure there have been a few others, but I think that's a really good show. And I'm like way off topic. This has absolutely nothing to do with comic books here or cartoons. But so that's about it for now. I'm set. Oh yeah, breakfast tomorrow. I'm probably going to eat here at the hotel. They have a complimentary breakfast. But I was eyeing, there's a bagel place across town I think I might try on Saturday morning. So that's about it for now from Heroes Con. I'll check in again probably tomorrow evening after the show. I don't have any big plans to go out. I might take a quick look at the drink and draw and see how that is. Although it sounds like it's gotten to be a pretty big event, and I'm not always a big fan of those huge events. So that's it for day 0 of Heroes Con. Tomorrow, day 1, I'm excited, and even if it doesn't sound like I'm excited, I am excited. I'm always kind of afraid that this is going to be the year. I'm a cynic. And I'm always just kind of afraid that this is going to be the year where it's just nothing. I don't know. It's not that nothing's going to go right, but that I'll just leave feeling like, why did I do that? Or why did I bother to drive, 400 miles to go to this show? It wasn't really worth it, and I hate saying that. And I know I've had fun both times I was here before. And I wouldn't have come back if I hadn't. So, but there's just that seed of doubt, and for some reason it makes me feel more comfortable to have, more at ease to have that little doubt that this may not be the best show. It kind of leaves me open, and I guess I'm not anticipating too much. I'm not putting too much in the way of expectation on the show is the way I look at it. Kind of like when you go to see a movie, you don't say, okay, this is going to be great, because quite often, a lot of times when you do that, then if it doesn't meet your expectations exactly, it really doesn't seem that good at all. And so that's kind of how I feel about this. I'm trying to go open-minded. Yes, I'm trying to think positive, but I'm not trying to think it's going to be great. Everything's going to be awesome, because I know not everything's going to be awesome, But I think it'll be a good show. The question is, will it be a great show? We'll see. Will I enjoy myself? Probably, but I just feel uncomfortable saying, yes, I'm definitely going to enjoy myself. So anyway, that's it from Charlotte, North Carolina for day 0 for Dave Talks Comics. That's it for episode 26 of Dave Talks Comics. Questions or comments can be posted on the episode page at davetalkscomics.com or tweet them to DaveTalksComics. Email your questions or comments to dave@davetalkscomics.com. Next time on Dave Talks Comics, I will be providing a recap of the first day of Heroes Con 2014.